I mean, you look like a big wreck. I don't know, because I can't ever see because my eyes are getting so much worse. These med beds, come on with the med beds, man. But my eyes, I can't see shit. So, anyways, I probably look like a mess. But I was sleeping in the chair and everything. Sometimes I feel drugged around here. Like, I swear to God, they're putting chemicals out that make you feel drugged, because I really think that they want people to have anxiety and stuff, because where I'm at, I'm positive we are probably feeding big pharma. We've been feeding them for years with the all of the rain and stuff that is up here. And now I'm even thinking, was that always the test center for their fucking climate change? Has that always been why there's been so much rain in Seattle? I mean, it's all fucking illusion. It's all fucking bullshit. It's all fucking treachery. So anyways, I was talking to one of the guys in our group, and, of the people that, whatever community we're forming here of like-minded people. And he's one of the people in our group, and I don't know how to say his name. He's in Poland. So he's right in the epicenter, right? And he was even going out and filming and going live and showing people what was going on over there. And so he, was talking to me, and I had fallen asleep in the chair, and then I woke up for some reason. And then when I checked my thing, I saw that there was some messages. So I started talking with him. And this is what I want to say for sure. I want to talk about what we were talking about, because it was all of a sudden like I had a breakthrough. But but also I want to say that stuff is really bad where he's at. He's in Poland, right at the border of the Ukraine. So before, he was talking about, that they were saying things were happening, but there wasn't things happening. And it was more like a lot of rich people going in to the Ukraine. But now they're having this big thing where all of the Ukraine has now migrated into Poland and taken over, and the government's giving them the jobs and the food and stuff. People it's really bad. And he's really scared, he's really, really worried. So I want us, all of us who watch this, let's really send some positive thoughts over there, because they are really, really struggling with some of the most severe stuff. And even with that one, Joni. Oh, and I love the one that, some of y'all, I don't know your real names, but the tarot astrology lady. I really, really liked her. And I really liked, because she said a lot of the same stuff that I say. And I always love that when because sometimes the stuff I say, honestly, I'm like, okay, maybe I really am the crazy person in the woods. I don't know. So I really like it when I hear other people say some of the stuff that I say, because I really am very isolated. And the people I'm around don't see what I see. Nobody. I don't have people. So anyways, I really did enjoy that lady. And but the other thing I was gonna say too, see, I get going on too many things. Okay, let me just go back to the Poland situation. So anyways, I just feel like we should send over, positive energy, just send love over there and stuff. Oh, because the astrology lady, Joni, how she did the chart on the Ukraine for next week. And she also did, the Queen, her chart. So see, that other astrology lady, you could tell, like, she was talking about the alliance. She knew some more stuff going on. And like I said with Joni, it didn't seem like that she really knows what's up behind the scenes. She's still kind of playing in the game, playing in the system, or she's just not making herself vulnerable and putting it out there, which, that could very well be, because a lot of people are freaked out how crazy things are going. I mean, I had my freaking neighbor today start saying stuff. So people are waking up, dude. People are waking the fuck up. Like, this is really happening. I'm just so excited, because there is such a shift. And I talked about it before, being that wave. And it is, you know, I really feel like we're up to where energetically, like what they show me energetically, I really do see it as we are kind of up at that top part where things are going to be crashing. And I know that I have felt this like so many times where you get really caught up in the energy and there's so much going on, but then all of a sudden it's like a fizzle. But then I started being like, no, because each place is having its own things. So it can feel like a fizzle in one place, like what I was talking about earlier. It can feel like a total fizzle, you know, like the LA riots did not affect all these other places around the world, but it was still a super significant thing. I mean, and that's what the stars are, or the planets are lining up like they did for that. So, and some of these other ones, you know, what they've talked about, so it could still be, you know, more of a centralized thing. And we're all waiting for like the really big thing to happen. But also with all of these people being pushed out of the Ukraine, I kind of, because everything is so different than what we think it is. So the government is definitely exposing itself that it's going to give more, like they're doing that in the USA so much with telling us that like they're letting people over the border illegally. They don't have to have anything or any restrictions or any of this stuff when they put the restrictions on us. Then they're getting $150,000 in cash. They're getting flown around the country, all this bullshit. You know, there's just like, this is some nonsense. So it's kind of like they're doing that there with all this Ukrainian migration that is coming into their country right now. And it's really affecting, because since he's at the border, of course, it's going to affect you the most right at the border. And he's like wanting to take off and head to Germany, but there's a whole bunch of restrictions there still. Like you have to have constant testing, and you don't want to do these tests because the tests have more of the stuff we don't want in us. It's just another way that they're getting the poison in us. Every fucking thing that they're doing is to poison us. They've been doing it for years. It's been going on forever. We accepted it. We just thought it was aging. We thought it was cancer. We thought it was this and that. We accepted it. But now it's being exposed, and we're seeing this has been going on for the fucking ages, for this fucking age. This shit has been going on for a long fucking time. And so now we're beginning to recognize, but every single thing that is coming into us right now is got some kind of poison on it. You know, they've got it everywhere. I mean, it's so filled in the skies here. And earlier, another girl sent me footage, and she went out and got her sky picture, which I could share it. I bet they don't let me share pictures, and I'm not tech savvy, and I can't see, and I don't have a computer, so I'm kind of just limited on what I can do. But anyways, the chemtrails, they did a fucking tic-tac-toe thing up in there. Like, they're just fucking laughing in our faces, you know? I mean, this stuff is so absurd. But everybody is waking. I'm telling you, some of the people who have been waking up that I know, I mean, they've been deep. I'm not even going in. I mean, I've heard some updates on my brother, but I'm not going and communicating because I just feel like things are kind of sticky in that gray area right now as people are waking up, because there was so much division. It's kind of better to just stay out of that kind of thing, because we want them to wake up. We don't want to get them to the point and then start fighting with them. You know, we want them to wake up and see the truth. That's what we need. And we need this energetic surge of their outrage. And that's coming. That's the wave. You know, that's when it will crash. That's when we will go the other direction. That's when but there's going to be mass healing. Like the amount of healing that has to occur is going to be, I mean, just when I was here last week, you know, when I was saying that I was having a hard week. Oh my God, it was hard. And I felt like under attack by a lot of dark energy. And even when I started meditating on it and they were showing me, it was just surrounding me. And it looked like sludge or something all over my walls. And so that's when I started doing clearing. I was like calling in dead relatives, and it was somebody who just passed, who was always funny. I came in with a vacuum. It was gonna make me cry, because we have these people around us all the time that are there for us. I mean, they have more chance to help us outside of a body than they do inside of a body, because we have the limitation of not understanding they're around us, because we are so caught up on the illusion that the avatar is creating in this reality. So anyways, I mean, there's so much stuff I could keep going and going on some of the stuff, but really when these people are waking up, let's allow them to wake up and process this stuff. We don't need to be like, I told you. I didn't say anything like that. I just, was like, oh, and by the way, did you know, medical's not there for you either? So, I just throw on a couple of little other, seeds when somebody starts divulging that it's not the time to go, I told you, and, if you would have seen this sooner, don't do that. We want to let them process and unfold. And, you can spray some little sprinkles as they unfold. But, that's going to hold us back. It's going to keep us divided if we want to keep arguing about this bullshit. Because the only reason that the people knew was because we woke up. These other people just haven't woke up yet. And so it's a fucking huge process to wake up. And there's a lot to wake up to. And this is consciousness waking up. This isn't just, to the truth. This is consciousness. This is an evolution. So, we were all living unconscious lives. And now we are consciously becoming aware of our environment. And so, anyways, the thing that him and I were talking about, we talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, we were talking about all of the stuff going on over there. And did I finish that about what the one lady said? Because when she did the chart of the Ukraine, she said next week something really, really bad is going to happen there. And then, like I had said before, where Psychic LJ, she was posting where she was on Google Maps and she saw a whole bunch of ships. And then, what's his name? The FBI guy who worked in the paranormal. I can't think of his name. I saw him the other day talking to Laura Eisenhower. I didn't watch the show because I've seen so much of that stuff that you start hearing it's just like the same thing over and over as, before I used to listen to him all the time. But he's been saying that it's in their plan for a long time about this fake alien invasion. And so if they're getting the ships ready and it's right in the Ukraine, are they going to come out and just start shooting at different countries? Because who knows? It wouldn't really be real aliens that are doing it, because aliens would never do that. Aliens are waiting for us to grow and evolve and become peaceful, so then we can interact. They're not coming down to our level. So yeah, we start getting shot at. Bet your ass it's us. It's the fucking government shooting at us. So, but that has been a big part of their plan and all those ships. Or is it that there's going to be with the disclosure and now the ships and everything we're going to start seeing? So, everything's on the table. We just have no idea. But so she was saying something big is going to happen in the Ukraine next week. At the same time, with something big is lining up in the planets. And like I've said before, it can be just really personal stuff for you. And that's why, don't get caught up on all of the stuff. We can all hope that this is the big event that just wakes everybody up in this mass awakening, because that's coming. And, when you go and you listen to like the Alliance people, like Juan and stuff like that. And he had been saying for a long time that because they watch the social media and stuff, they watch the comments. And now if you watch the comments, you see a huge shift in the comments. So they've been watching, the comments to figure out like how much of us are awake and how much of us aren't. And once it gets to like 80 or 81%, that's when they're going to, whatever is going to happen is going to be the other 20% are getting woke up abruptly. These are just to give them a little like nudges. These are all nudges to kind of get them a little, kind of questioning like, okay, that's weird. Because there's so much of that going on. Well, that's weird. Did you notice that? It's like, yes, I did. I'm so excited. Yeah. So, anyways, so back to the time thing. So we were talking about time, and he said that he was talking about relationships and stuff, and it's just when you really do your healing and stuff, you just can't go back to those low vibration relationships anymore. They're just, you see through them. You see through the games, it's transparent, and you see how it's built on people trying to get things from each other. It's not built on a healthy frame. So, we don't want relationships like that anymore. We need to develop ourselves. We need to be our cups full when we're going out into the world. So we're not going for someone to fill our cups. I mean, the stuff was always right in front of us, but we just hadn't caught up yet. As consciousness, I mean, it takes a lot to wake up, and this is such exciting times for consciousness because it's ascension and stuff, and this is a huge development. So anyways, he was talking about something with time, and that he can see through it, like in his healing and stuff. He started seeing through the whole thing with time. And I was like, oh yes, dude, that is so true, because I remember when I got my brain injury, and all of a sudden I could see through time. I couldn't have, the concept didn't match the clock anymore. Everything changed with time. And I started seeing time so differently, and I started understanding time differently. And so when we were talking about that, all of a sudden, I just clicked. All of these things clicked together. And that we're projecting our reality. And all of these are separate, different realities. And everybody's in their own process, in their own time. Because time is whatever you're focused on. And that's why being present, being in the here and now and stuff creates connection, because we're all in that same space. We're all pulling in to that same space as a collective on time. Do you understand? Oh, I can see it so clearly. I hope I'm making it more clear, because you can see with this process of awakening how each individual is, because I've noticed this, especially being around people who are not healed, which most of the people are not healed. The only reason I am healed is because I got a brain injury, and if I didn't fucking, figure shit out, I wouldn't have survived. And so I had to heal. And healing leads you to deep stuff. It leads you to, oh, my hair's driving me crazy. It leads you to, deeper kind of wounds and stuff, you really, because it led, there was the whole point, where I had to just figure out how to live in this world where I was different now. And then once I got to that, and I was still living just completely unhealthy lifestyles, marrying people to try and rescue me and stuff like that. And it just blew up. And that is when the deep, deep healing, and that, I had to be ready for that, because that was so intense. And that's why I talk about this dark night and what the collective will go through when this group all comes into the same reality. So if each person is living its own reality, structured around its own pain, its own idea of what expectation of reality, what it sees reality to be. So it's creating that to project, so it understands itself. So it's just here living. We had interactions. We always had interactions, but we were never all in the same reality. Everyone was living their own experience. And that's why people would get in these fights and get mad. Like, what are you trying to tell? I know what's happening in my life. This is my life. How many talks have we had where people, they get mad, they get angry because they're living from this painful place, and they're not even in the same reality. When you think about that as time, there is no time, because there is no, how can you put time on the reality? It's what you're focused on at that moment. So that's why you can be focused on something and it can seem like it takes forever. And then you can be not focused on something and you don't even know, it's like that time didn't even really exist. And then you can go into a good time and you don't want that time to ever end. You just want it to go and go, and it doesn't feel like it lasts long enough. It seems like the time's just going so fast, right? So time is what you are focused on. They figured out a way to try and focus our attention and our energy on their clock, on their structure of time. But time isn't anything to do with reality. It was just a trap. And, and they always use these lures, right? To try and lure us. Well, I mean, I saw it so clearly when they were trying to move the mountain people down into the cities and stuff, and there's always these lures, these traps. And so time, whatever it was when they started, dangling the fucking clock, I don't know, at what point in, human history during these different eras that we all come into as souls to come in and play all these different parts in these separate realities that we are having that only is about us. And that's another thing with the TV, how it pulled us into a different reality because it was showing us things that doesn't have anything to do with our reality. And how it was pulling us in all of these different directions was only adding to more of our problems. It created the problems that we were having. And so a consciousness, if you just think of just the consciousness, being born, just going into an existence, but the existence isn't really real. And so you are born into this existence. So you're born like into this dream. You're into this dream, like kind of where if you thought about your higher self, you could think of your higher self not as an energy, but as a being in meditation, thinking to your creation of they're creating your existence in their meditation. And so you are now being the meditation's experience. So you are born into that experience and you're in the experience, and it feels real because we have these different senses and stuff. But really, we're born into these existences. This is the same thing as why people think that other people don't exist, because they really don't exist for your reality, because it has nothing to do with your reality. The TV tried to pull us in to get us involved in other people's reality. I mean, that's what's so trippy too when you watch movies and stuff. It's like all these different people's souls, tragic stories, and we're all drawn in, and I mean, it's created such a dysfunction in the conscious state of being. So I hope I'm saying this on a level people can understand, because it makes so much sense. I can see it so clearly. And so when you come as a consciousness and you're in your experience, then this, like what I've talked about before, kind of like it's a disease in an area, and like it has put out this illusion to control, right? But still, souls come into this, like I've said before. If you're here on purpose. You didn't come here because, they didn't suck you out. But it's a hard school because you're being manipulated the whole time. And it is a low vibration. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you could see, like, Earth reality is a hard school. So if you're in the higher self is sitting there meditating, creating you, and they are thinking of different places, different realities it wants to go to, then it goes, okay, well, I'm going to go into that one. But this is a hard one to do. So it can be, obviously, I mean, we can see that some people don't even remember they have a higher self. They think that they don't even exist. They think that they aren't real. Like they think that they are, I don't really understand, I mean, they think they're like a flower or a leaf or something. They think they just die like that. They don't see themselves as being, but see, those people too are very disconnected a lot from nature. No, because I know somebody who is so connected to nature and not connected to his own soul at all. It's so variable. Like we cannot pigeonhole anybody really because we're all so unique. There's no real, that's another thing that they got us all to focus on this stuff and then to try and fit in and stuff. But we're not even here for that. That's part of this experience. So that's where it kind of gets weird because, yeah, it's a part of this experience. So, yeah, you're here for that. But as a soul, you're here. So they got you caught up in that experience, but your soul is here. Your soul is going in for the experience to learn, to grow. And so when you come in and you are just focused on your reality, so you're just going and focus on what you're going through. And I told you before, it's like a lot of stuff about mastering your emotions. And, that's like the road to enlightenment. And it is all about lightening. It is all about raising your vibration and feeling lighter and stuff. And you'll notice every time you heal something, you just feel a little lighter. You just feel like I'm standing a little taller, It just feels good when you heal stuff. That's why whenever stuff comes up, like I want to heal it. I want it to come up. I want to get rid of it, because now I know it feels good. So the whole way that all of these people are so caught in the illusion, in this trap, is because they are, as consciousness, focused just on their own reality. That is what they are, just focused. But okay, so when you come in, you're just dealing with your reality. But they still have the part of them that is attached to this reality. So it's still being misguided. You know what I mean? So it is because there's so many people I've talked to. So maybe if I say this, it'll put it together better. Because there's so many people I talk to that just don't really have an understanding that anyone else in the world is going through anything except for them. They just think they're the only ones going through this stuff. They forget about what everybody else is going through because the consciousness is very focused on self. It's kind of an ego trap too, because you notice how much narcissism, gaslighting, all of this stuff keeps coming up. But, people are really living in different realities. We're not all in the same reality. And I think as we let go of time, and we become present in the moment, it is what pulls us in as consciousness to a collective, to everyone's experience. It's what creates empathy. When it first started being that people started being like, oh, you must be an empath. You must be, because you had compassion. Because after you wake up and stuff, you start feeling the connection, That's why I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to know all of the horrible stuff that's happening for people. It's super painful. And because we are going into this collective spirit, this collective that is like the consciousness, the conscious collective creating a whole new world. Like I see it like on this other kind of way now, but so as we pull in and center and we become present in the moment and we connect with others and we begin to feel their pain, we begin to connect to nature, we connect to all these things as we pull free from our own experience, our own reality. And even though all the realities were being manipulated, everybody's experience with that manipulation has still been individual because we have all been so separate. And that is what this awakening seems to be about. And pulling free from time will create freedom not to care about money, to want to pursue other things, and to realize what life is really about. It's not about the pursuit, the lures that they dangled to try and get us to pursue what they would get rich off of. And plus, how they just created so much sadness, depression, perversion. I mean, they just really were bringing out the worst in a lot of people, and those people have to face that, everybody's going to have to face their dark side to themselves as this stuff is happening. And that was one thing. I had listened to a couple of different astrology people, but that is one thing that is definitely this is going to be bringing up stuff. And so when it brings it up, don't try and hold it back. Don't hold it in and think like, well, I don't want to deal with that right now. There's enough in the world. No, it's happening so you do deal with that, so you can heal that, so you can process it. Because remember, this is your soul's awakening. Your soul's awakening. We don't need to focus on, everybody else isn't awake and, they don't know what's going on yet. Be happy that you are awake and that you do know what's going on, and that you have this opportunity to use this time to grow, because a lot of people are, they're very trapped still. And when whatever this is going to happen, like hopefully that 20%, but I think that is close, and I think that is what this wave thing. And it seems like, oh, my hair is driving me crazy. It seems like that this all goes together to me. That's what I'm always looking for, is that where things cross over and stuff, and how it matches like my internal voices and guidance and stuff like that. And seeing that's all just tuning in to whoever is up there, whatever energy's up there, who is manifesting you to be in this reality. That's the connection to your higher self. And it really takes so much pressure off of you when you start really realizing, how this isn't real. And that is also why I think that is weird about like how the sky is looking different for us all, because, some of us see it and some of us don't. And that woman who sent me the Tic Tac sky, she also, there was other weird things with the sky and the color that I saw too, with the clouds. Especially when I was in school, they taught us certain things about the clouds, and there typically is not different kinds of clouds that mingle, because they have different kinds of things that they do. So when you have different clouds that aren't supposed to be together, that doesn't look right to me. It's by my teachings. That's weird. Like, that's why I say this isn't the same sky I grew up on. I mean, whatever everybody else sees, that's in the sky I grew up on. The sky I grew up on had big white fluffy big white fluffy clouds. It was really, really crystal blue. And it had big, giant, like yellow, orange sun. It looked like something out of cartoons. And now I'm like, man, did I just create that in my own head? Did I just see that because they said the sky is blue and there's clouds in the sky? But, I don't know. I mean, this awakening is a pretty trippy thing. But now I see how much it is really just pulling free from your reality and coming together in unity. And that is our expansion. And that is this whole thing about the ascension and this new age of Aquarius that we are creating. And I just see it so clearly. So I hope I explained it. And, I hope it helps other people see, like, because it really is not just like this where people are, they are brainwashed. We can see that they're brainwashed. But it is so much about consciousness. This is everything that is going on is just about this consciousness pulling free and from their own reality and joining into a collective reality. And it has so much to do with time, because when we free ourselves from time, time has no concept other than the moment you're in. So, just think about that. I'll talk to you later. Bye.